Hey gang, welcome to the first Moss Monkey Devlog presented by Louis, our level designer, and me, Iz. I'm your community manager and UI artist. To give you a bit of context, Louis is currently in the process of greyboxing / blocking out the first Parliament of Owls level for Outclaw, focusing on a fantastic forest with woodland critters. The Parliament of Owls is a level in our first indie title, Outclaw. Players Giblet, a 5-eyed space cat with the ability to control armies of shadow kittens, we call shades, cause chaos, solve puzzles, and explore wondrous worlds in this adventure packed with mischief, gods, and monsters. It's a third-person action adventure that currently has a demo on Steam, so if you're interested, check it out and give us a wish list. We also have a community Discord server where we host events such as Draw This in Your Style and are amping up to hold even more community events. Now, let's get started with the video.
Give me a tour.
The starting point for this level was the words canal locks. The idea of having, like, you're trying to ascend up the banks of a river, but there are, like, routine obstacles in the way, like locks on a canal, or as it's kind of reshaped into, dams in a big river, to give the level a sort of a sense of progression in that you're going from, like, the base of the river to the top of the river, but with, like, a rhythm to it of, like, we're at bridge number 1, bridge number 2, bridge number 3, like, to give a sense of going somewhere. The move was chuck down 3 rectangles and then start building the geography from there. So, like, if I just swap out of the player character view, spoilers by the way, these 3 rectangles were the first thing to go down basically, and it became a sense of making the space between here and there make sense. It's easier to, like, work with a blank canvas when you have a start and an end basically, but that's kind of like the broad scale thing. Like the small, like on the smaller scale, just like making twisty paths really. You know, like show areas later in the level which you have to, like, I remember there's shiny crystals over there. I gotta think about that when I get kind of near the end of that bridge. Oh look, there's a little space under here. Oh, this is interesting. This is nice. Sort of give the players something to think about at regular intervals. That isn't just like, oh wow, I'm walking to this door. This bit is bad because it does exactly that. But for example, in this scenario, the idea is this door has a lock on it. Some sort of magic barrier, something the player has seen already before. And they see, there's a side route up here. For the sake of the demonstration, I've put the blue stairs here ahead of time, but the idea is the players would use the stair formation to do this themselves. They'd see, like, a bunch of terraced ground and go, I know what to do here. I know how to ascend slopes. And then they go, shape of shades, staircase, and they ascend. And they go, okay, come on guys, let's keep going. Another one, let's go again. So the challenge there would be decanting the right number of shades to get to this point.
Yeah. And
have enough to, like, make this final ascent. You hop on here, you can see right through this like partially transparent surface, which would be like vines or like a bit of like metal, like fencing, you know, like sort of the stuff you see in London.
Yeah.
That kind of material. You hop on the pressure plate, door opens, you go, now I know what to do. And then to save the player a bit of time, there's one-way exit valve here. You go, let's call back the guys. And they kind of run towards you, they hop off, and they get going. This stretch isn't too interesting, but there have been a couple of ideas on how to spice it up. The art team have suggested just putting, like, London Bridge-style houses along the side. Like, that's what the blue kind of supposed to be a placeholder for. You can have, like, visual interest to keep you busy rather than necessarily, like, direct gameplay. To have a little breather after, like, a reward of sorts. A change of pace. Now, you got to here. But wait, we're at the end of the bridge. What's this? Do we remember from earlier? Oh, good heavens! The loot!
Here's some crystals I prepared earlier.
Yeah! The idea here being, the observant players over here would go, here's an interesting platform with some collectibles on there. Okay, I'll remember that for later. And then giving them enough time to maybe forget. So it doesn't feel like, I saw the thing. 2 seconds later, I got the thing. But also, leaving it just within view enough so that a player who's coming directly off the bridge is like, oh yeah. Alright, let's keep going. Stairs? Ooh. They might be drawn that way and then have a little like, oh wow, yippee. And a little like moment of discovery. And then they get a little reward in the form of number go up.
Number go up.
And this bit is a sort of branching path area. You've got, well, literally you have 2 paths. You've got up you got down. In the down section, I want to put like a small cluster of enemies that are like guarding a bit of loot, like the crystals back there, kind of thing. And then have the top route be a lot safer, so the players can choose between, do I feel like some intense mechanical gameplay where I can beat some dudes up, or do I not feel up for that? Do I feel chill? Do I feel relaxed? Do I want to have a more like laid back experience? But with the way they close off, the top route still has an opportunity to double back if they're feeling extra brave and they see what they're missing out on of going, ooh, actually I do feel like a brave boy. I'm going to take him on. And then you go da, get the money, leave, that kind of deal. Like, the best thing you can do, I've noticed, is breaking line of sight. From here, you can see the top of there, you can see the floor down there, but you can't see what's directly in the middle of my screen, which is the way forward. Everything is pointing towards those blue cubes. Everything is going, hey, you want to go this way? Alas, these cubes here are going, no, you don't. You don't know what's there. You can't see, and I won't tell you. So that adds a bit of intrigue because the player's going, ooh, I wonder what's around here. And then in that act, they lose sight of what's above them. They're engaged with what's in front of them. And then while they're doing that, ooh, there's more going on this way. Yeah, and then obviously, now that you've done that, you make your climb.
Start galloping.
I love running like this. It's really fun.
It's really
you get around here, and this is a new inclusion. I'm not sure quite how I feel about it yet, but we'll see. Bit of technical information. These are just cubes. These are just cylinders. This... Thank you for highlighting yourself. This is a geometry brush. Well, more accurately, it's two geometry brushes. You've got one for the rectangle that makes out the major outline, and then there's like a cylinder cut into it. Basically, there's a thing in modeling software, it's called a Boolean operation, where there's a stencil to cut into another one. That's the short version of it. I don't understand the full technicals, but it means that you can make cool shapes like this. It's real nice stuff. The only difficulty is, if you have a billion of them on screen, or you have a billion of them in the level, they become slow to edit. So you want to be minimal with these, but when they're useful, they're really useful. Cool. Sick nasty. After the idea of having like houses on the bridge was put into it, I wanted somewhere out of the way because Zach shared a lovely picture of Azad Dune and it gave me ideas. A little like appendix area. I'm like, oh yeah, this place is a little bit lived in. Put some like little huts around here. Put some like big houses, artificial structures kind of deal. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really cute. These lights could probably be a fair bit smaller. They looked smaller in editor. Now I'm next to them. Oh god, they're huge. That happens a lot. It's really easy to get size blind in the editor.
Get size blind.
No, genuinely, I'll boot up the original draft for a Parliament level from the start of the project, like drilling how bad I was for that. Because like when you're zoomed out, you think, oh yeah, it's like placing Lego bricks. Like, because you're running at a different scale, it's like, oh, it's easy to just put these cubes down. Oh, that looks good from where I am. Let's hit play. And then you get down at the size of like the minifigure in this situation, and then go, oh, that's huge. That's going to take like 5 minutes to walk across. Oh, this sucks. For example, Rutrow. But you can. That's not to say you can't have big areas. You just have to make them like meaningful to traverse. Because if the gameplay is I hold the W key and let it take its course, bad. That's not interactive. If you're like changing directions, if you're like looking at new things are coming in and out of view, or like attacking things, you're dashing around, then the 5 minute stretch feels more interesting because you're like shifting gears and stuff. For example, the idea that this is originally drafted for is that you're trying to cross this bridge, but while you're doing it, you're getting bombarded by an enemy up on the next one over. You can kind of see the little head pointing out with the yellow sphere. The idea being you have to like play with cover, or like example, we don't have a nav mesh in this level, so they won't work at all. But the idea that you'd send out like say a shade to like activate a contraption over there to like send a wall up while you're hiding under here, because the guy here is like aiming at you. I want you to feel like a mouse under some floorboards, basically. That's the kind of goal. Again, playing with cover, like hiding under bracket fungi. You got a little bit of an area out here, out in the open, where you could like put some loot. Like, oh wow, there's some crystals up here, but that leaves me in full view of the guy throwing rocks at me. that's dangerous. I don't want to risk that. I'm going to run away. And then just like, as I mess around with the idea of like, being underneath things, having to like dash out of cover, being like really quick, having to keep an eye on your shades so they don't get hit as well. High intensity brain functions, basically. In his blind spot, you can have a bit of a breather, have a little slow ascent up an area. There can be something here. There could be like a puzzle to like shift gears from like, I'm in danger to, I need to work out a way to progress. Or it could be, if we want to keep on that like adrenaline high, we can keep like a bunch of enemies here. So it's like, out of the frying pan into the fire kind of deal. This choosing between one or the other would kind of be something to choose later on when we've got like arc of the level to be. Do we want it to get like start chill, get more intense? Do we want it to have like a couple of like heat bumps in the middle of it? Like, ooh, watch out. Also, I've got a weakness for spiral stairs. This is entirely why this is here. I might make them thinner just to make them feel more proportional. But rather importantly, this is one of my favorite sentences. The reason why I prefer a slow curve to like say this is just like a 90-degree is a quote I found in a book a while ago that says, players move like cars. They like going forward and they like turning slowly. So for example, if this staircase instead went straight out, like all the way out there, and then just did like a full like almost 180 turn straight back here, the player would be like, I'm looking at a wall. Ugh. Let's keep going. You don't like like next time you play a game, like think about how you tackle corners. You don't just go like like you do this, like your bank and turn and stuff. This yellow material I'm kind of using as a placeholder for like interactables. So in this case, this pillar wouldn't already be down. It would be like a stand-up pillar that you have to like demolish to like make it topple, which is a mechanic we already have in a couple of the second tutorial level, basically. And this would be like a sort of, you recognize this pattern. It's a pillar with a crack in it. You know what to do. Bang. You go, let's keep going. I'm breaking stuff. I'm causing disruption. I'm a menace to my local environment. And then this would be like a sort of indoors space, like a sort of maybe a warehouse, maybe a storage room, something a bit more built up than like the foresty environment we've had up until now. Like the idea that there's like a bit of artifice going on here, like something has been built and it feels weird. Same again, knock over the thing. It falls down, you climb over. And last of all, you have a little like similar shaped platform, maybe a few enemies here because you're like breaking into their proper like place of work effectively, and then rule of three, knock down another one, and you're confronted with maybe like a portcullis in front of here that you're like, shade 1, shade 2, giblet, and you go boom. You go through, you call you guys afterwards, you all get in, thing shuts, it goes bam, you turn around again, it's like, big guy, and then you have like a sort of boss fight for that level. You defeat the boss, you finish the level basically. Standard, 1980s affair.
Hey again. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in Outclaw, we have a demo out on Steam now with the link in description. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or join our community Discord and ask there. We've got all of the team on there and we can answer any and all questions you got. If you enjoyed the video, follow along our journey here with more devlogs, or for more casual updates, we also post on Instagram, TikTok and Discord. I hope you have a wonderful week.